The vision, a world where all people live free of the burden of drug abuse. This is the Drug-Free America Foundation's Pathway to Prevention podcast, where we are committed to developing strategies that prevent drug use and promote sustained recovery. Thank you for not only tuning in, but your continued support and efforts to help make this world a better place. We hope you enjoy this episode. Stigmatization and discrimination of persons who use substances is still an issue in the Democratic Republic of Congo and its capital city, Kinshasa. This is a case of youngsters such as members of urban youth gangs, and they're facing rejection and social exclusion and are being singled out. And that's leading to them causing violence in these urban areas and just insecurity in the Kinshasa neighborhoods. Unfortunately, the DRC Public Services approach based on repression to fight this phenomenon has produced counterproductive consequences. It was more than necessary to develop a social approach focusing on prevention strategies to tackle this phenomenon while combating drug use among this vulnerable social group. Breaking cycles of violence should include appropriate support strategies, including the reinforcement and restoration of family relations and social support mechanisms at community and society level to support social inclusion and reintegration. The World Federation Against Drugs has developed a 3-year project that focuses particularly on mental health and psychosocial support services, including parental support groups. It offers recovery support, a socioeconomic reintegration component, facilitating hope and sustainability of change among the participants. My esteemed guest today is Mr. Dandy Yela of the World Federation Against Drugs, DRC country representative. He's here to share the story behind this initiative, the Sober Youth Project. Without further ado, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Dandy Yela.
Thank you.
I've been looking forward to this conversation for some time. But before we get into really unpacking the Sober Youth Project, could you share a little bit sort of about yourself, where you're located, your work background, like what led you into the role you're currently in?
Okay. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for this opportunity I'm offered today as the country representative of the World Federation Against Drugs office in the Democratic Republic of Congo. As you said, I'm Mr. Dandy Yela Yulemba. I'm managing the DRC office of WFAD since August 2020. So WFAD is an international organization, tackling drug and substance abuse in the world. And a new office started in the DRC in September 2020 that I'm leading. So personally, as a background, I'm Mr. Dandy Yela. I graduated from Communication, Leadership and Management. And I've been working for more than 20 years in managerial positions with international companies in telecommunications, but also advertising agencies. And after that, I also work with international organizations like WWF, where I have been the national communication manager. And I've played many roles in international organizations and the international companies as corporate communication and corporate social responsibility head of officer, but also as public relations directors. And I've also worked as, an advisor to the DRC telecommunication company managing director office. So I've been in key managerial positions, for at least 20 years now. So I joined WFAD, less than 2 years ago when they started the office in the DRC. The Secretary General visited the country, and I've been hired as the country representative, and since then I'm managing the office. This is what I can say about myself.
I hear a long history of leadership.
Yes,
Great.
exactly. That's exactly my key. It's leadership and management. Yes.
Yes, I can see why WFAD chose you to be their country representative, especially related to the Sober Youth Project.
Yes, exactly. Sober Youth Project. It's a let's say touching project, a wonderful, a tremendous project that we are implementing in the Democratic Republic of Congo, particularly in the capital city, Kinshasa. So the Sober Youth is a 3-year project that is founded by the Swedish corporation, and this aims helping young people called kulunas. To explain this term, kuluna, where does it come from? In Kinshasa, let's say 20 years back, there was a rise of insecurity in the capital city. So the police and also public services have been trying to understand what was the origin of this insecurity. And they have discovered that there was a new phenomenon arising in the capital city. Those young people are members of street gang groups. So they consider themselves as, let's say, kuluna, saying that since they don't have jobs, they don't have, let's say, a normal life in families and communities, they have decided to gather in those street gang groups. But unfortunately, they have started robbing people, assaulting violently people, and we even have some killings reported by the police forces. They use all kind of weapons like machetes, knife, and things like that. And it started in a corner of Kinshasa. But today, I'm telling you, 20 years later, it's still spreading, not only in Kinshasa, but in other cities of the DRC. So this is a phenomenon that the police and the public services have been trying to tackle, but we can say today that they have been resorting more to repression. But what we have noticed is that 20 years later, we have counterproductive consequences because the phenomenon is still spreading. And those, unfortunately, those young people are trying now to have younger people to join them in the street gangs. So we have the street gang, let's say, growing and causing more insecurity. And we have some places in Kinshasa where you cannot go because they live there and they say this is their territory. Before going there, you have to ask for permission. You don't have access. No one can go. Even the police cannot go there. So this is something really that the police and public service are trying to tackle for 20 years. And that's why we, WFAD, we came with another way of seeing things. We say repression should be the last thing to do, because we have to first understand why are they doing this? What are the root causes? This is where we have discovered that after having access to those young people, after discussing with some of them, we have discovered that let's say the root cause is poverty. Poverty, let's say precariousness, they live in poverty. And when you ask them question, why are you joining the street gangs? Why are you doing this robberies and violent assault? They say, we are poor, our families are poor, we don't have jobs, we don't have employment, our government has forsaken us, we don't have any way to make our living. So we think that this is the only way to do, because those who have to share, but unfortunately, since they don't want to share, so we have to take it from them the way we do it. And that's why we have come with an idea more based on a social approach, saying that since the problem is more a social economic problem, we have to come with a socioeconomic solution. But those members called kulunas are perpetrating all those crimes after taking all kind of substances. And the main one they take is the cannabis. This is the most available drug in the DRC. But they also take different alcohols, different mixtures based on, let's say, the last one we have heard about is a local drug called Bombay. It's a mixture from deposit from exhaust pipes of cars. They mixed with vitamins, with tramadol, and after taking that, they behave like zombies. You see people, you don't understand what is happening. This is the kind of things that we notice. And unfortunately, after taking those kind of substances, they perpetrate all the crimes under the influence of those drugs and different substances. And this is something that we, WFAD, would like to tackle. It means the sober youth is responding at the same time of tackling drug substance abuse while helping young people, who are members of the Kuluna group to quit and to prevent others from joining the street gang groups. This is a little bit the idea we have come with, and the Swedish corporation accepted to fund this project. This is what we are implementing since September 2020.
Wonderful background on sort of what inspired the Sober Youth Project. What are some of the offerings, the programs that you are doing within or as a part of the Sober Youth Project?
Okay, we have two key components. The first one is about the mental and psychosocial support. Why? Because we see that those kulunas are taking all kinds of substances. So meaning that they are perpetrating crimes by taking substances and psychoactive substances and psychotropic substances. So the first thing to do is to see how to help them stop, or if not stop, but gradually how to stop taking those substances. That's why we start with the first process of mental and social support, where we have specialists bringing them together. But what we do is that we have noticed that after taking those substances, the level of, let's say, most of them, if not all of them, are suffering from depression. So you have to categorize them according to the level of depression. And together, we group them according to the level of depressions. And then you have specialists and experts in psychology helping them mentally and psychosocially for 3 to 6 months, because depending on the level of depression of each person. So after the mental and psychosocial support, then they join what we call the empowerment process. The empowerment process is the socioeconomic answer. Why? Because they are poor people living in precariousness, trying to make their living, but they don't have jobs, they don't have, let's say, means to do that. So the second component that is the socioeconomic, where we, after the training them in mentally and psychosocially, we try to find an answer economically. So depending now on each one, we try to train them formally or informally, and offering, let's say, job opportunities. And we have 3 partners implementing the project with us on the field in Kinshasa. And what they do, one of the partners is employing some of them in waste collection program. It means to clean environments in Kinshasa. We have bought some equipment. We have bought some, let's say, tricycles, trucks. What they do, they are trying to clean environments, going from house to house, hospitals, schools, and different places, collecting all the waste and going to clean the environment. And Thanks to this program, they are paid and they have a remuneration helping them to make their living. Okay. A second group is empowered through another process. We have some places in Kinshasa, we have water supply issues. So we have founded the construction of 3 boreholes, and water produced from those boreholes is sold. And thanks to the revenues, you have some of them working in those infrastructure, and they are also receiving remuneration of wages at the end of the month, helping them to make to make their living. And we have another group that we train in income generating activities. So after the training, they are offered some amount, and with this amount, each one is organizing himself or herself doing small business. So these are the 3 components so far. But what we are doing now, we are trying to extend this activity to other activities. But these are the key 3 components that we have so far. And for the first year, we have succeeded to help 474 young men and women. So 274 girls and 200 men. They all have quitted street gangs. They all have stopped taking drug and substance, and they have all joined the program now. They are working. They are receiving salaries at the end of the month. They are organizing themselves, and some of them are making their small business, and things are growing because the program aims to have 500 per year. So in total, we plan to help 1,500 at the end of the 3-year program, to have 1,500 kulunas to quit street gangs and to stop taking drugs and alcohol and different psychotropic substances. This is what I can say in terms of socioeconomic and response to this program. Yes.
Wonderful. Those numbers gave me chills thinking about the youth and the impact that the Sober Youth Project is having in both those individual youth lives and also in the communities where they are working as well.
Exactly. Yeah, in terms of, because the impacts are even more. I can give you another impact today. With the 3 boreholes that we have built thanks to the Sober Youth Project, we are supplying water to at least 100,000 people in Kinshasa. So meaning 15,000 households. And where we have those boreholes, you have some places, some neighborhood, where there has never been water supply for 10 years. So this is the first time, thanks to the Sober Youth Project, they have water around them, because for 10 years, they have not been supplied with water because the DRC public service water company is supposed to supply water to the population. But unfortunately, the situation in the country, since they are not able to do so. And the boreholes where we have some of the kulunas working are supplying water to 100,000 people in Kinshasa. So the Swedish corporation even visited and saw the impacts on local communities. Another thing, another impact which is very powerful is, let's say, resocialization of those young people, because they were stigmatized, discriminated, rejected by communities, even by families, because no one wanted to get in contact with them, because while giving their, let's say, testimonial, they even say, we have been treated like animals, rejected by everyone, rejected by our communities, rejected by our families, by our brothers and sisters. But today, thanks to the Sober Youth, we see that we are considered as human beings, normal people, and we can live in communities. And we have also people from neighborhood coming to tell us, how did you happen to transform the lives of those young people, because it was quite impossible, even having access, not trying to do something, just having access to them was a nightmare. It was quite impossible having access to them because they are organized in street gangs, and there no one can come in without being given access. So it was, let's say, a kind of in their own world where they live by themselves. And they have been saying that we see today that your empathy, your love to them has made us understand that we can have normal life, live with other people. So this resocialization is for us also a good and great impact, because it has, let's say, supported the efforts of the public service in terms of tackling insecurity in some neighborhoods in Kinshasa. So we have noticed that the places where we are working, where we have been implementing the project, the insecurity is decreasing thanks to the transformation of the life of those young people. And the key thing also, as we said, stopping to take drugs and substance, and it's also something that we are really very, let's say, I can say satisfied with, because to see the transformation of those young people is something that we as WFAD and partners are really appreciating, because we have stories of two of them. Thanks to the sober youth, they make some savings with the salaries they've been receiving. They went back to school, and now that I'm talking to you, they have passed their exams and they have their higher school diplomas, and they want to go to continue further education. So thanks to the sober youth today, we see really stories of lives changing, and those two people now are going to go farther in their education thanks to the sober youth. So for us, even seeing those two ones, it's something that is so great and so tremendous, that to see two young people that people have rejected, who have been discriminated, now they are back to normal education system. It's something that we are very, very satisfied with.
Yes, and I can only imagine there will be many more of those stories that evolve, that grow throughout the next couple of years with the Sober Youth Project.
Yes, of course, because we have story coming up. Another story I can tell you today is one of the young girl who have accepted to join the program now. She's working with our partner, and now she's going to, because she wants to become a plumber, something like that. And she's getting the training, and I think in some weeks she will complete her training. And this is something very fantastic. Some others are starting their small businesses. So we're giving them time to see how the small business will grow, because they have started some weeks ago, and we are going to support them to see the small business, how they will be growing, and will continue following up and see how to continue supporting them, helping them to grow in their business. So as you said, of course, we'll have new stories coming up. Yes.
I can't wait to hear those future stories. I am curious, how do you reach the youth to invite them to be a part of the Sober Youth Project?
Good question. That was the biggest challenge, to tell you the truth, because as I say, they are street gang groups. They are well organized, living by themselves, avoiding other people, and because they don't live normal life, because most of them are robbers, and some are, let's say, considered as criminals. So having access was the biggest challenge we had, because at the beginning, when we started the program, we tried first to approach them, they all were reluctant because they say, no, we don't want you because you work with the police, and if we let you come in, you give our names to the police, and they will come to arrest us. It took us weeks discussing with them because they are well organized. In each group you have a general who is the leader of the group. You have some others who are, let's say, colonel. They are well organized like in an army. You have the general, you have colonel, you have different people in different levels. So if you want to interact, to have access, you have to identify first the general of the group. If you happen to know who is the leader, who's called the general of the group, and you try with him to convince him. If you happen to convince him, and he is the one who can convince others to join. That was our approach. So we did. Our partner did a great job. They first started identifying the different groups because the police knows where they are. They know the name of the group because each group has a specific name. You have some calling themselves fourmis noirs, meaning black ants. You have some others calling themselves, Red Army, and the police know where they are, how they are organized. So our experts say to the police, no, we don't want you to come with us because if you come with us, they will not give us access to them. So you'd better be away. We as experts, we're going and try to interact with them. So the first thing was to identify those different groups, and secondly, to get in touch with the person who is considered to be the leader of the group. And discussion with that person takes weeks to convince him or her, because we have also girls groups and things like that. And if you happen to convince the leader of the group, and the leader is the one now trying to convince his followers to join the program. So we succeeded in, I would not say that we have succeeded in having contact with all of them, but with key, or we can consider with key street gang groups, we happen to identify the leaders. And thanks to this permanent contact discussion, we explain them about the project, what it is about, the benefit of the project, the benefit they will have to join the program. If they can, what they will get. And after explaining them, and the good thing was that after they say, okay, are you sure that today if we come and join you, the police will not arrest us? And secondly, do you confirm that at the end of the process we'll get job opportunities? And this is where things really turned positive, because we said, we confirm that we are in contact with the police, that you will not be arrested. If you join us, we'll discuss with the police to stop let's say, hunting you or trying to arrest you. And secondly, if you complete your mental and psychosocial support as requested for 4, 3, or 6 months, you'll have a chance to have job opportunities. And those will come because some of them were reluctant, they did not join. But those who have accepted, now today we have testimonials coming in. And those who were reluctant now are asking their friends to say, what can we do to join you? Because now we are receiving many of them coming from everywhere in Kinshasa. They say, we've heard that you are helping kulunas to stop living the way they used to live. We also want to join the project. What can we do? So I can tell you that the Soviet project fame is still growing, and you have so many who are coming, but unfortunately we are limited with the funds. But we're trying to do our best to find new donors. Apart from the Swedish corporation, we are discussing with other financial partners to see how we can extend this program and try to get more and more youth and help them quit street gangs and stop taking substances.
Word is spreading about the change that you're helping the youth go through, and encouraging more to come join. That That makes my heart happy. It is some wonderful, wonderful work.
Oh yeah, really. Even ourselves, we are so happy because to see even, I say to my team, having even one of them being changed for me, it's a wonderful result because the government, the DRC government, has been struggling for almost 20 years now. They are trying to find a way. They are trying to help, but so far they have not really succeeded. But now today with this the Soviet Youth Project, I can tell you that whenever I meet with officials and when I explain to them about our project, they say, "Wow, it has become a kind of case study." Even the ministry in charge of the youth is using our Soviet Youth Program as the baseline to develop a national program how to tackle this kuluna phenomenon, not only in Kinshasa, but in other cities in Kinshasa, because the phenomenon is still spreading. So we are proud today to see that our project is becoming a case study. People are trying to understand our approach, how we are doing it, how we are implementing it, how successful it is for. Because let's say after 1 year and a half, what we see today is something that we are so glad that we say to ourselves in 3 years' time or 5 years' time, this is going to bring so wonderful result and impact on our local communities and contribute in contribute to peace in families, in local communities, and also in the cities of the DRC.
When you were sharing the challenge, but then also how you're able to find success in engaging the youth and inviting them, I heard building relationships with them and building some trust.
Some trust, yes.
Also, on the other side of it, it sounds like you built a good relationship with the police as well.
Yes, exactly. You cannot do such work without involving the police, because whenever you try to build a relationship with those people, you have to inform the police because anything can happen. Anything can happen because they are young people, but taking all kind of substances. So what we do with is that we invite to have the police coming with us in the field, but we try to build a relationship. In the same at the same time, we are working with the police because for us, what we do is also supporting the police efforts and the DRC public service effort to tackle this phenomenon. So we know that those young people don't want to get in contact with the police, but for us, the police and the public services should be involved. Even the DRC government, I take this opportunity also to say that even the DRC governor or mayor of Kinshasa is really supporting this because when we met him, he said, this is one of the key insecurity issue we have in Kinshasa. So your support is really welcome. And what you are doing, we are really appreciating because you are helping us tackling this phenomenon. What you do with all the effort we are making, coming together, this is going to help us to build a peaceful city in Kinshasa.
Beautiful and inspiring. I can only imagine our listeners are feeling the same inspiration and just incredible work you're doing. Wanted to invite you to share any tips or suggestions or words of wisdom to share with our listeners before we wrap up this episode.
The first thing I would like to know is that those taking drugs, alcohol, and other psychotropic substances are people from our families, from our communities, from our people, from our places. The first thing we have to avoid is rejection, stigmatization, and discrimination. Because When someone is unfortunately under the influence of the substances and they reach a point there where they don't happen by themselves to stop and they need our help, they need our support. And this is why we as WFAD, we think that the first thing we have to start with is avoiding rejection, avoiding stigmatization, avoiding discrimination. Let's go to them. Let's go with empathy, with love, and show them that we can help them. But when we have, most of the people, when you talk about, well, we don't want to use this word in WFAD to talk about drug addiction, but we say substance abuse. Those suffering from substance abuse are people who are to be considered as people are not like criminals, not like, let's say, those behaving wrongly. On the contrary, they need our support. They need us to help them. And this is the first door, I think, that will help them know that they have people thinking about them and we can help them, let's say, quit this situation.
Wonderful words of wisdom. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to have this conversation and share about the marvelous work that you are doing in the Sober Youth Project. And it's been an honor to have you join us today for this podcast. And I look forward to hearing about more of the success stories about the youth in the project. But before we end, how can listeners find out more about WFAD or the Sober Youth Project and get involved?
Of course. They can go to our website, www.fed.sa. If you go there, you'll find our stories about the Sober Youth. And you go to the WFAD website, you'll find stories about not only the Sober Youth, but also what we do as WFAD in the world, because it's an international organization. But there you'll find also DRC stories about the Sober Youth and all that we are implementing here in the DRC. But the last word also, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to the Swedish corporation, because thanks to them that this project is being implemented. And we hope that through channels like yours, and we'll have other people also joining us, not only financially, but even technically with the support. And we, WFAD, we are open. We would like to have as many members as they can come from all over the world. When they go to our website, they can click somewhere. If you want to become a member of WFAD, it's so simple. You can become a member as an individual, or you can become a member as an organization. So you just have to submit your application through our website, and then we can have you as an individual or as an organization. And then from there, you can support not only the Sober Youth, but also WFAD activities and project and program in the world.
And listeners, I will put links to the website in the show notes so you can find them nice and easy. And Mr. Dandy Yela, you are an incredible, incredible change maker and leader. Thank you for being who you are and doing what you do.
Thank you so much, Dave, for this opportunity. Hoping to have another one and discuss more about what we'll be doing in the future.
That concludes this episode. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and share this episode with a friend before you leave. And we look forward to seeing you on social media, because prevention is better together. Together, we are stronger.